welcome back to the Groomsman. I'll be your host, Jonathan. Today I'm using LoneStar by Noble Otter. I dig the Noble Otter. They got a cool artwork design where they always have like this otter right in front and they kind of dress up the otter depending on, what the scent label is and everything. This one's LoneStar. She's got a bit of a cowboy hat and a cowboy stash going on. I dig it. The soap I've had for a little while. It's kind of soft. Not super soft. It's not super hard. It's kind of right in the middle between like a really soft soap and a really hard like puck. It's firm. Smells really nice. This one's got, I like how they put the scent notes on there, because I always forget. Lemon, sage, magnolia, Texas cedar, oak moss, leather, and hay. It's really nice. So like the sweetness from that, the lemon and the sage kind of come out a little bit. But it's really the hay and the leather and that cedar note. It's really nice. It's a very soft leather. It's a very soft scent. It's not very like dark at all. It's a very light leather, very light. Oak moss is just kind of really there in the back, like really, really deep in the base. It's really nice. I dig it. It's very nice. Like the leather and the cedar kind of tie together for me right there. It's nice. I got that all lathered up here with my Chisel and Hound brush right here, and I think it's an AMAC silver tip knot. But I'm gonna put on some pre-shave real quick while I talk to you for a minute about my razors for today. So I'm gonna do my normal first pass with the straight razor, and then I'll probably try against the grain on my neck with the straight razor, and then I'll clean up with the DE like I normally do. So for my razors today, I've been using the ones that I had, one that I had honed by someone on Facebook, and then one that I kind of tried to hone myself. This is just Noxzema face cream, by the way, that I'm kind of putting on my Parasso. So I took a couple razors that I had gotten. One that I found locally, Wade & Butcher Elite. I found at my local antique store. I think I spent 15 bucks on it. So there's some really good deals out there. The antique store is kind of funny because they have what's marked as a Red Imp wedge razor in an incorrect box, and it's not a wedge. It is a Red Imp, but it's not a wedge, and they want 100 bucks for it. And then I found this just like a cardboard, not really cardboard, like a small little wooden box with no lid. And it had just like 12 straight razors in there, and I just kind of poked through there and picked out a couple. And this Wade & Butcher was one of them. No box or nothing, but super cheap, 12 bucks. There's another one I got from there too recently. Oh, I do have it here. I sent this one out to get restored. Swiss-made frame back. Jacques Le Couture, which is a French name, but it's a Swiss-made razor, which is pretty cool. So you could undo the screw and pull out this blade and put in another blade while these ones are getting honed. But the blade itself was in pretty good shape, other than being tarnished and everything. So I think it's going to be able to get restored pretty quickly. I got to find somewhere to send that off to restore. I'm not sure where I'm going to send it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to get new scales or just the scales are, they're wood scales. They could be cleaned and like refinished and everything pretty easily, I think. So I think I'm going to keep those. That's what I'm leaning towards right now. But anyway, so I had, some razors like that around, and I sent 2 of them to Razor Emporium for, I had a Sta-Sharp that I'm going to use today, and that one was in really good shape. It had like 2 little blemishes on the razor, but other than that, the razor itself was in perfect condition. The scales were broke. So these are the original scales. And this kind of like German chopper type style, and you can see this corner right here. Got a little notch taken out of the corner, so that's why I had new scales put on it. Otherwise, the scales were in pretty good shape. It just somewhere got nicked on that corner. But Sta-Sharp. So, but the blade itself was in great condition. So I sent it out, and as you can see, the blade, they did do a really good job with it. It got home there. I'm not sure if they polished. It looked like they did a little bit of, like I said, there were only a couple blemishes, and they took both those blemishes off. But there wasn't really a lot of work to do as far as polishing on this one. And I didn't pay for a polish. The only thing I paid for was a hone and new scales. Now, this is where I kind of wasn't real happy when I opened the package. So I paid for German chopper scales to kind of match this, and I assumed it would be the same shape, and I got it in Ghost Jade. So the Ghost Jade, the color came out like it said it would. It's in the German chopper shape, but it's about twice as big as I really wanted it to be. So I'm not sure what happened there. So I assumed with the restoration they would take the existing scale and they would kind of match it around that, but based on the shape that I asked for, give or take. And then instead I got this giant honker scales here. It's a little bit longer. I'm not too like whatever about the length of it, but like how big that is, I mean, that's pretty unwieldy, and it's kind of mismatched for how big the blade is. It's not a small blade, but this isn't like a 2-inch blade either. So it doesn't look right to me, so I'm not real happy with it. I want to email Razor Emporium about that. I'm not sure why they went with such a large scale. It just doesn't look, there's no balance into that. The blade, it makes a blade look really small compared to the scale. And it's not like a small blade. It's not huge, but it's not a small blade either. But it looks really small compared. It looks off. It's not aesthetically pleasing with how big the scales are. This would be appropriate if you have one of those huge custom, you know, art razors and stuff that they make out of Ukraine. Those things are huge, and they look awesome when they come with scales that are this big because the blade is really big. With the blade this small, it just doesn't, I'm not happy with it. But we're going to test out the hone on the razor in any case. Other than that, it works really well. We're going to use that here in a minute. The other razor I sent was the Weight & Butcher Elite, like I said. Now this one, the scales were fine. Had some gold leaf pattern on here that came off when I cleaned it a little bit myself before I sent it off. I was kind of hoping they would re-gold leaf it, but I didn't say anything about that, so I'm not upset that there was no, maybe they didn't even know there was gold leaf on there. So I'll get some gold leaf and put it on there at some point. But I did pay for a hone and a polish on this. So I had expectations based off their description on the website, and I expected the entire blade to be polished and, you know, have the tarnish and everything removed, and that is not really the case. If you can see, like, even just right there on the spine of the blade, there's a lot of black tarnish marks, a lot of black. The tang is the worst part. So there's black all over this tang that I didn't, you know, I expected them to remove. You can see like the bottom of the tang inside the scales there. It wasn't cleaned at all. So there's still residue on the inside of the tang, both sides of the tang, on the neck. It's like, this isn't fuel polished at all. Like, this whole portion of the razor obviously didn't get any polish work done on it at all. That's how it looks to me. It doesn't, the whole razor itself, I mean, the razor is still a nice razor. It's still usable. It's got a, you know, they did hone it. I haven't tried it yet, obviously, because I just got it last night. So it's honed, but I don't think they polished it at all. I'm not sure what happened there, but to me, it doesn't look like they polished this razor in any way. It looks like all they did was hone it and send it back, and I'm a little upset about it. I paid a lot of money for that. I mean, the hone is like $38, but it's like another $50 to get the polished part of the restoration service. So it was like $99 to do the hone and polish for this razor, and I feel like all I got back was a honed razor, and I'm pretty disappointed. So I'm gonna email Razor Emporium and figure out what the heck happened. You know, why did, you know, they had it for a couple weeks, just like they said they would. You know, I shipped it out. I bought it during the Black Friday sales, and they had the discount code. So I mean, it was like, for both these razors, I think it was $250, $260, and then I had the discount code. It was about $200 out of my pocket that I paid for this, and then I probably paid $10 for shipping down there. And then they shipped it back, which was part of the $200 I paid, because I paid for the shipping back and everything, which is part of that process. So yeah, like $210 in my pocket, and I'm pretty disappointed with both of them. You know, it doesn't look great. I'm hoping the hone is nice, so I'm a little disappointed. I'm gonna put some water in the face real quick, and then I'll get to the actual shave. I just put a little water on there because it got a little dried out while we were chatting. Sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time on this video. I guess I should have apologized for that at the very beginning. I'm sure this video will go a little longer than I like to. I aim for under 20 minutes or about 20 minutes. Doesn't always happen. The more I talk, the longer they get. I haven't used this Noble Otter soap in a while. Kind of got stuck on the back shelf, and then I was looking to mix up just the kind of routine that I've had. Like, I have like several sets that kind of sit next to my sink, and I was looking for something that hasn't been in the rotation for a while. And as soon as I saw this one, I knew this was it. It smells so nice. Very sweet, kind of a sweetgrass scent to it. That oak, not the oak moss, the sage. I think it's like the desert sage. Smells really nice. They're not all winners like any soap. I had a Christmas one of theirs a while back. I didn't really care for, and I traded it. I did like Bar. I had the soap. I didn't have the set. I just had the soap for a while. I can't remember why. I got it in like a trade or something. The soap was really nice. It was kind of a non-standard barbershop, bit aromatic. Had some nice herbaceous notes to it. But it's been a while since I used it. So we're gonna use the Sta-Sharp, made in Germany, distributed by Sears and Roebuck. It's got like a little Sears and Roebuck distribution thing on the back side of the tang. Fine chromized steel, fully guaranteed. So we're gonna try this out. I feel like the Giraffe that I used the other day when I had like a week's worth of growth is like twice as much growth as this, was smoother. It's not bad. It's just not great. I don't feel like it's knocking any hair down at all. There was a little bit of whiskers in that, but like, it's not really knocking anything down. I mean, there's a little bit of whiskers on there, but not a lot. Like, I'm not impressed. I think it's more than not impressed. I'm very disappointed right now. Look at that. It's barely getting anything off my neck. Like, it's not shaving. Like, there's getting some, but that is not very smooth, and it's barely getting any hair off my face. All right, be right back. I'm back. So I went and got the Giraffe that I've used. I honed this myself on lapping paper, not knowing at all what I'm doing, and I just ran a progression down. I talked about that before. And I got more growth off on that pass, just coming down my cheek, than I did with that honed razor from Ari. Like this plot right here. Like, look at that. I went over a freshly honed razor from Ari, freshly stropped, and it cut nothing off. And this razor is not professionally honed. I am so upset right now. I cannot begin to tell you how upset I am at this experience right now. This is beyond disappointment right now. It is nowhere near as smooth. Like, having just used that Giraffe. I didn't strop it or anything. This came stropped. That's their directions. It came stropped and oiled. There wasn't a lot of oil on it, but there was oil on it. It's just not. There's a couple whiskers in there, but it's like devoid of hair. This is like just not cutting at all. It's so disappointing. Yeah, I got more on that again. Look at that. Just, I'm so disappointed right now. This is not the shave that I wanted. This was my Christmas present to myself. $200. I'm gonna try the Wade and Butcher Elite. I think they were honed by the same person. On their website, they talk about their one Honemeister. They only give one name. I can't remember his name. And he talks about the different stones he has. He has like 13 different stones that he could use. I don't know how he chooses. I don't know what this is honed with, what either of these are honed with. I was kind of disappointed by that as well. I thought I would have that on a paper when they shipped it out to me. Like, hey, I honed your razors using... I mean, I don't care what they use because I don't know the difference between the different types of stones and how they change an edge. But I was curious, did they use natural stones? Did they use synthetic stones or cuticle or lapping paper or whatever? You know, I don't know. Whatever they used, I just would have been really curious of what they used, what the progression was, where did they set the bevel, like what grit did they set the bevel with, what grit did they end up finishing on? Did they take it up to a 12K? Did they finish on something higher than a 12K? But they didn't give me any of that information. So I have no idea what this was stropped or what this was honed on or finished up to or anything. I don't know anything about it. So I was a little disappointed. I expected that information. That might just be me having too high expectations because it wasn't listed on their website that they would provide that information. I just kind of expected it. I would like to know. So we're gonna try out this Wade and Butcher. This is an Elite. I dig the razor look. It's got this cool neck design here. It's got an Elite marking there on the front, like a little, I don't know if you can see that or not. The etching is kind of faded a little bit, but cool. I think this had gold leaf, a little bit of gold leaf left when I first got it, and it came off pretty quick in the ultrasonic. Wait, that took off more hair. That knocked down a lot more hair than the Sta-Sharp. So I wonder if the same person honed it. And there's all kinds of things could have gone wrong, right? If the same person honed it, did he test it before he sent it back? It's definitely like taken a lot more hair off. Like this one is working. It's smoother than the Sta-Sharp was. I don't remember, did I say it was a different guy? So they have the one guy on their website listed as their Honemeister, the one gentleman. But I know that he at least did one, a different guy did one of these. They didn't give me emails for each one as they completed. I just got one razor saying, hey, your razors are done. And it was by a different gentleman, and I was kind of confused because I didn't know the name. When I got the email, it was just from this other name, and then it was like, but it was a little weird, so I asked about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's one of our guys that does honing. I was like, okay. So I don't know how long he's been honing for them. I assume he's been vetted. I don't know. This was better. The Sta-Sharp is pretty disappointing. I've been talking too much. This whole thing's taking too long. My lather's kind of drying out. This is definitely cutting a lot better. I like the Elite a lot better. The hone on this one is good. I mean, like this feels like cheeks. This is a lot smoother than this. Oh, I did this spot with the Giraffe, and even then, like this is they did a good job. The Sta-Sharp did not. I don't know what the heck's up with that. All right, I'm gonna stop reminiscing. We've talked enough about this. I'm going to continue to use the Wade & Butcher for the rest of this. Now this part I'm not real comfortable with. I'm gonna try shaving up against my grain on my neck. I did try this earlier in the week. In my last shave I did. And it didn't go great. Got some irritation. It was going pretty good. That went really well. Yeah, that went really well. So I'm happy with the Elite. Insofar as the honing goes, I'm still very unhappy that I paid extra money for it to be polished and it wasn't polished at all. But the hone was nice. That was a really nice shave once I got to this razor. Now the Sta-Sharp was actually the razor that I was more excited to get, so I will soap on there. Just because it looks so cool, like that blade, the fully chromized and everything, it just looks, the etching looks really cool. And I was really excited to use this razor because of that. Found it for a good deal. I think I bought it on Macari, considering it had those broken scales, but then, you know, I paid for, for the, I don't like the scales at all. I mean, I like the look, I like the color. The style is what I wanted. I just wanted it to match the size that it was on there, so it matches the size of the blade. This doesn't match the size of the blade at all. I don't know. I'm gonna email Ari about it and see what they say. Maybe there was some text somewhere about the size. I don't remember there's being any size at all. Like, it talks about picking the size, like the shape of the scales, but that's it. It doesn't talk about picking the size. It's just shape, like German chopper, English chopper, old style, whatever. Like there's like 10 different styles. It's not been a great day for shaving. So for the razor, I'm gonna use the Winning, the original Winning. And I know you're like, what happened to the 2.0? Well, I'll tell you what happened to the 2.0. I sent it out. One of our viewers, Rex, he's on Facebook too, he's an awesome guy. He sent me some stuff. I did a shave back in the day with the Gibbs Heritage Razor, which is like a remake of the Gibbs adjustable razor. He sent that to me to try out once, and the Lambda Athena as well. And we were having a chat about the Winning, and he was thinking about buying a Winning or maybe the America, and he was trying to decide which one to get. And he asked my opinion, and I said the Winning all the way. Can't go wrong with the H razors, but my recommendation will always be the Winning. And we chatted about it for a little bit, and then I offered to send him mine so he could try it out. It was pretty easy to do considering all the nice things he's done for me and for the channel. I had no problems doing that. I hope he enjoys the razor. I don't think he's gotten it yet. I shipped it this week, but I haven't paid attention to shipping. How do you like half? Where's gonna go right to against the grain? I got a second use Fox caught in here. I will say, having used the new one versus the old one, you could definitely tell a difference. Like, I don't notice a drag just using the winning all the time, but having used the new one and then this one, yeah, I can tell. The new one definitely glides a little bit more smoother. That being said, there's a little less blade feel with the original one because that smooth cap. I think that those chamfering channels he put on the new top cap, while they do what they were intended to do, it added just a bit of blade feel. This is super smooth, by the way. If you're wondering, because I stopped talking, I was enjoying this part of the shave. And that first part did not go so great. Very smooth, super efficient. Very much enjoying this. I'm digging the straight razor adventure still. Today wasn't, you know, the best day of the adventure. So, some disappointment, some heartbreak. We'll figure it out though. I mean, it did make me feel better about my own honing, which worked out really well on that Giraffe Razor, because comparatively speaking, my Giraffe Razor is really nice. That being said, my honing method is definitely not perfect. And like I said, I tried it with a different razor, and I did the exact same the same progression on the lapping paper, working my way up in the bevel set and everything, and the same number of laps. Completely different result. And I think it's just because I don't know what I'm doing. Thickness of grinds and steel types, German made versus UK made. Might play a difference there. But I do say, if you have the winning, or if you're thinking about the winning and you see the old one up for sale, it's just as good. The winning is an awesome razor. I'm super glad Yates bought it back. He had a titanium pre-order recently. I did not get it. I thought about it. But it's Christmas and I just spent a bunch of money. You know, my wife's buying presents for all the kids, and we're buying presents for all the family members, and trying to buy stuff for my wife. She doesn't make it hard spending all the money on other people. I was like, I want it, but I didn't really care for, I don't know, care for is the right way to say it, but I was pretty shocked that Yates decided to do a pre-order for a titanium razor that wouldn't release until next year, 2 weeks before Christmas. Like, I want it, but I don't know that I want to drop $150 2 weeks before Christmas while I'm in the middle of buying presents for everybody. And I can't even, like, maybe I could justify it as like a birthday or Christmas gift for myself, or get my wife to buy it as a Christmas gift for me. But since I'm not getting it, or I wouldn't get it until next year because he hasn't made them yet, I don't know if that was the best marketing decision, but I don't know. I don't know how many pre-orders he sold. Maybe he maxed out his numbers. I know some people definitely jumped on it. Super smooth. Easy to do touch-ups with this razor. That's it. That's a shape. And it out really well. I did enjoy that Wade & Butcher, the Elite. That was pretty smooth and it cut well. That was nice. I'm gonna have to dry that out, and then we'll get it stropped. I've been doing the linen side of my strop after the shave, and then I save the leather and I strop it on the leather right before my next shave. I read that someone else does that, and it worked out really well to do that. You know, strop it before you put it away on the linen, and then before you strop it on the leather. It's been working out pretty well. But that's a shave. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a rough start, but we got there in the end. I hope you guys have a great Christmas. I'm probably make another video here before, you know, Christmas comes around. I'll have like 10 days off. I'll have plenty of time to do it, but I got family coming, and I got to do a drive to Wisconsin to get some family and bring them back. So it'll be an interesting week. I'm going to follow this up with the splash, but I'm not going to make you guys watch that because I know this video has already gone long. So I promise I'm going to do the splash. It smells great. It's alcohol based. It's awesome. I might get this is one of those ones I would like the EDP for. So next time I ever order some Noble Otter stuff, I'll probably try and pick up the EDP. Or maybe I think they do EDTs, the Eau de Toilette. But that's the shave. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on this adventure with me. And I'll see you here next time, and I'll provide updates for what happened with all of this. I'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.